future, but it feels too good to look the other way. And I way too hard to ignore this stag inside me. He stands upright and commands a devil hell while I sing. I'll turn the lights down and set fire to the bell. When I get a little more blood pumping from me to you, I'll split your lips with my heart and
Yeah.
Oh, welcome to Keep Your Head Up Hockey. I'm your host, Jamie Young, and we've got Jay Bruce in the house, the J Dog in Dominican Republic, and we're going to get you set for a huge game tonight against our Habs. The Habs beat us first game of the year, 1-0, as we all know. We outshot them a ton, played great. But they beat us, and we don't want that. So thanks so much for tuning in. Keep your head up hockey. Also, Core 4, you guys are the best. Thanks so much for tuning in to our pregame shows. Love doing it. But J-Dog, how you been?
Groovy. Been busy. Got the new business going down here, and things are going very, very fast and furious. We've got, like I said, I got the restaurant as well. Che Bavaro, for anybody down in Punta Cana, come on down from some good eats. I'll plug the restaurant while I can.
Awesome. Absolutely, buddy. But yeah, Leafs playing well. I think that they've kind of started adopting to the new coaching style. What are your thoughts on that, kind of how they've played recently, and what can we expect tonight?
Well, if you see what's going on, I think everybody's pretty much settled down into the new systems that are coming in or have come in, and the way that the players have adapted, it took them a little while, but I don't think anybody was really concerned about it. If you notice, even when they lost a game or two, nobody was seeming like they were pissed off or upset. Nobody wants to win, but they all are under the understanding that this is not something that's going to happen overnight. I would say that Berube is probably a different cat behind the bench than they've had in the past, and that's including the guys that have been around since Babcock had been there. So, and Babcock was a little bit more like Berube, I would say, in the ruthless style of coaching, and even more so maybe. But I'd be a lot more afraid of Berube if I pissed him off than Babcock. The other thing is Babcock, obviously in the past we've seen is a career changer, as in the end of your career, where this guy is looking to promote your career. So I think there's a big difference, and I think they're seeing the positivity and the calmness of the goaltending is crazy.
Oh man, Stolarz is just insanely good. And yeah, calm is a great word to say. He has stepped up when Wall couldn't start. He jumped into the role, and he has definitely not messed it up. He stepped up. He's played well. He's one of the best goalies in the league, I would say, right now, stats-wise. He's playing solid. Got a shutout against Boston, and we beat Boston finally in the regular season, first time in 2 years, 4-0. Boy, oh boy, what a game that was. I'm going to get another video going in the background. We'll talk about the last couple games. But man, they played well last night. Didn't you watch the game last night?
Yes, I watched part of it. I didn't watch the whole game. I had some business I had to take care of, but the physicality, I think, is where everything's changing. The Toronto Maple Leafs are now a heavy team. They have weight on the back end. They have a few guys up front. If they're not big, heavy guys, they hit heavy though. The way Domi's playing, well, right there, you see him. They're finishing their checks, not like before they were skate by in the Sundin era, and guys would they braze by them and give them a little brushing. Now they're finishing their checks, which gives their other players on their lines time to get to the puck, get to another player without having to be rushed all the time. The physicality makes such a difference in the amount of time that you have to make decisions. If your teammates are hitting the other players on a regular basis, that means they're at a standstill. That means they're not skating, and they have to start. That's why you do all those starts and stops in practice when you're growing up, kids. It's so like when you start playing physical and your team starts playing physical, those stops and starts are super important. So you have power and you have energy for the rest of your shift. It's important.
Well, look who won the last Stanley Cup, Florida, and what do they do extremely well? They
Physicality.
break you down with physicality. And when I played the game, that was my strongest part of my game was checking and being a physical guy and fighting. And I tell you, it is part of the game. And if you can excel at that, it makes everything else so easy. Or easier at least, right? To really free up some space for your quick guys and free up that puck. Definitely a huge part of the game. And Berube is really stressing that to this team that they've got to be physical, and they've started doing that. And boy, oh boy, look at the space that they're creating for Willie and Marner. Just absolutely fantastic. But that's a commercial there. We're just going to stop that altogether. But yeah, they're playing extremely well. I thought that they played a pretty complete game last night as well. And Stoller, again, played fantastic. But that shutout there in Boston, I give him 2 thumbs up for that. Played amazing. We'll move on to tonight's matchup, I guess. We got the Habs. What do you think about this matchup, and what do you think we're gonna see tonight?
Well, obviously for Montreal, their goaltending's not been playing very well. They've got a pretty low. The average for both the goalies is well, neither one of them are as good as even Wall. Like the save percentage is less than Wall's, even for Montembeault. So their starting goalie isn't as good as our backup goalie. That's not a good start. Your defenders, you've got 2 solid defense on that team. And basically one line, the Suzuki line. Really, the Suzuki line is the only line that's doing anything right now. The only thing I will say is Brandon Gallagher is being Brandon Gallagher again. I think he's got 10 points in the last 6 games or something like that. I'm not too sure. It's around there. He's playing the Brandon Gallagher of late, and I think what it is that with a guy like Gallagher, he's had some players in the last couple of years that have been able to take his place and take a little bit of the pressure off him, which made him a little bit more well-rounded as far as the defensive end of his game. But in saying that, now that the team's not as big, heavy, and strong, you have to have somebody playing physical. And this kid, I guess he's not a kid anymore, but when he plays physical, he plays a good game. He's very much like Marchand, not as skilled, but still very skilled hockey player. And well-rounded at both ends of the rink. And man, oh man, nobody likes to play against him. He gets under your skin. He's one of the best chirpers in the NHL. And his ability to just be strong from the start of the game to the finish of the game. And he's in shape, man. He's in shape. He's in great shape. And the guy's, what is he now? 30, 34, 35?
34, I think.
Yeah. So you can't, those are intangibles that not everybody brings to the game, and the physicality of such a small guy is very. It's I think it's a little bit hard to handle for some people. They don't know how to react, so he catches people off guard a lot, and I think that's the way he's kind of made a career out of it.
Yeah, the Canadians definitely are not having a good start to their year. They're on a 5-game losing streak, and they lost 2. And I'll run through it with you here. A bunch of teams that they probably should have beat, but they're just not playing well. I had that here it is. They lost to Jersey, Calgary, Pittsburgh, Washington, Seattle. So they really should have probably won the Pittsburgh, Seattle games. But the other 3, they're in tough against those teams. But 5-game losing streak. They haven't had a great start. They're last place in the Atlantic Division. We're currently second place behind Florida by 3 points. So, we're starting to turn it on. We haven't had the greatest start, but every year
different than it has been the last few years. Really, it's been the same, and it's never been a problem. The only thing is that all the haters, and you look at Core 4 and all these other Maple Leaf websites that have all of us, that we say we're rooting for the team, but I guarantee you, there's tons of people on these sites that are not. They're not Maple Leaf players. They're in there to stir the pot. And look at this crap. Look at this, whining, complaining about zero, and then just trying to get you going, and then name calling and all that kind of stuff. This team has been playing the exact same way every year. The first year that Matthews came in and scores a hat trick is for 4 goals his first game. I mean, that's a little bit different. He came as advertised. But since then, it's been basically the same, and they're never like great out of the. But it's not bad though. It's not. You're still over 500. There's nothing to complain
Oh,
about.
no, I ain't complaining at all, and I love that Mitch Marner's turning it on, as well as Willie. Like Willie's doing Willie things, and he's kind of back to his old self. Like he's got 10 goals already, and we're 14 games in. Like that's pretty solid. 18 points, 10 goals. I love how he's playing, and Marner is starting to turn it on. I know that you're not a massive fan of Marner, but I really like how he sees the ice. He gets to spots quickly when you don't think he's going to get there. He does move the puck well, but he has sometimes he'll throw that blind pass that I don't like, but for the most part, he's played pretty solid. I love that. But yeah, we'll move on to the goalies. I want to talk about them really quick here. Boy, oh boy, Stolarz has had a great start. He is supposed to start tonight. He's got a save percentage of .930, which is outstanding. 6 wins,
Insane.
2 losses, 2 in overtime, and 1 shootout. But yeah, playing outstanding. Then we've got Montembeault, who's got an .892 save percentage. And yeah, we won't even go over his wins losses because it's pretty ugly. But yeah, Stolarz is playing solid. What do you like in this goalie, and why do you think he's our number 1 this year?
Well, I mentioned it off the start. First of all, that as far as how calm he is, but Wall was never given the start. Everybody seems to think that he's taking over. I don't ever recall the Leafs saying that Wall is our starting goalie. So I think it was anybody's to take, and he obviously took advantage of the situation. When Wall got hurt, he's playing all the time. And since then, he has been stellar. Every loss there hasn't been a loss yet that was his fault. Every time they lost, it was on the 3rd shot that they were scoring, or on the or the 4th shot. And I don't even know that. I believe the Montreal game off this, or not the Montreal game. Sorry, the oh crap! Now I can't remember who it is. But the one game that they lost,
St. Louis, or
yes,
is it
the St. Louis game.
Okay.
There was 3 goals. It was 4 shots that they had taken that he had stopped before they scored. 3 of them. I mean, you can't. That means you're playing bad defensively. Like first of all, if anybody gets 3 shots in a row, let alone 4, like there's something going on with your defense. So the defense weren't playing the way they should, or the forwards weren't coming back to help when they should. One of the two. You can't blame a goalie for that. So he's been stellar, and Wall didn't even play that bad either. The one game I'll say he wasn't playing that great, but I think he's playing he's got a great save percentage as well, because I think he's cutting around 900 as well.
Yeah, 892.
Yeah, exactly.
892. Yeah,
And
1 win, 2 losses.
So as far as this guy is concerned, I think he's paid his dues, and he's been around for a while, and he's been the backup goalie and not ever given a lot. But when you think about the age of goalies now, they're lasting a lot longer, I think, because a lot of them are not didn't get that you were the number 1 goalie right away, and it took you a couple of years before you got to play lots, and it saves their body a little bit. So that's why these guys that are like 35 and 40 years old are some of the better goalies in the league. They know the game, they know what to expect, and experience is everything. And that they're not like a new guy coming in that's all like jacked up on 3 grams of cocaine and whatever else. And not that I'm saying that they do that. I just mean the energy level of the, being in the league at a young age has got to be just overwhelming. So these guys now that have been in the league for a little while know what to expect. A guy like Stolarz, he's calm. He's got nothing to prove. He's already got a Stanley Cup under his belt. And he was playing on a team where he was 890 something as well for save percent average when he was the backup. So he's only playing like 20 games, and he's still got one of the better save percent averages in the league. So and he's 6'5". He's athletic. You look at the last 2 games, some of the saves he's been making have been incredibly athletic. The one he came up with out of his hand, took off his blocker and grabbed the glove, or grabbed the puck. And hey, it's mine. I got it. Like that he grabbed that underneath himself. That's athletic ability. He's 6'5". He's not like a little kid moving around. So I think athletic ability, the calmness, the lack of movement. Like when he has to be athletic, he can be. But the fact that he's when he's basically just stopping shots, It's the calmness. There's no movement. It's a little slide to the left or a little slide to the right. And anything that goes up top, all he does is raise his shoulders and he's blocking half the net or more.
He's cutting the corners really well and taking away those shots and stepping up and taking away those angles really well and playing fantastic. On the back of his helmet, I don't know if you saw, it says "Prove people wrong" on the back of his helmet, and I just absolutely love that. And I think that he's proven that he really is a great goaltender, and he did definitely put his time in. I do want to throw out kind of a football reference that I think that really makes a little bit of sense. Think about the Green Bay Packers and their quarterbacks, Favre, and then we got Rodgers coming in. Rodgers didn't play for years, right? And he learned from Favre, and then he went on to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And then again, Love comes in.
Yeah, Bledsoe and Brady, same idea.
Oh, exactly, right? So these guys have learned from the start goalie, like Bobrovsky, great goaltender, and I think the Solars learn a lot from him, and he's applying that to his game. But boy, oh boy, this kid has got it, and definitely can't wait to see him play for the rest of the year. We'll go through a little bit of the projected lineups here. Actually, you know what? No. More importantly, let's jump to this. Let's talk about the Leafs power play. So the start of the year, it was absolutely terrible. It was the worst in the league by far. And finally, I think that they're turning it around. They got 3 power play goals against Boston. And I think that they dumped it down. They're shooting the puck more. They're getting in front of the goalie. They're banging the rebounds in. They're not making these stupid passes to make these highlight goals. That's not what it's about. It's taking advantage when you've got that other team down the man and putting the puck in the net. What do you think about what they've recently done on the power play, Jay?
Matthew Nice, 100%. He is a big body standing in front of the net, willing to take a beating. And a couple of those power play goals they got in Boston, Matthew standing in front of the net and taking the abuse. He's what is he, 6'3" or something like that, and he's 240. So he's taking up a lot of space in front of that. You can't move him. He's a physical specimen, and he's not afraid to get dirty. And now he's starting to get. He's not only is he getting more physical, he's getting more creative with the puck. And when he's in front of the net, he ends up getting like taking the bounces off the goalies and getting shots. Like he may not be scoring lots, but at least he's getting opportunities. He's a threat. So when he's standing in front of the net, he's not just this big dumb guy standing in front of the net. He's a scoring threat. So they actually have to pay attention to him, not just physically, but like as far as the scoring ability. But he can't see as well. Like he's got to get moved out of the net, and they're not able to move him. So he's becoming a real problem, and he's starting to realize that he's a man, not a child anymore, and he can handle everybody that's coming at him. I think that's making a big change for the power play.
And it's very noticeable that Berube kind of jumped in there and said, okay, I got to take control of this power play. It's not going well. And it's very noticeable that they've changed and they're doing exactly what you said. And what I said is just stand in front of that net, shoot the puck from the point, move it around, just get a lot of shots. And it's working. So, keep it going, boys. Let's work on it again tonight. It'll be a little bit easy, I think, against Montreal, a little bit more space. So they can definitely try a few different things. But the power play is looking a lot better, Jay, and boy, about time, because I was worried about it. We'll go to the lineups tonight. We'll go through the couple of them that I like, and 1 second here. Pull this up here, and then we'll move on kind of the end of the show. But the one like is Matthew's out, obviously, right, for another week. They say like until the 12th or whatever. So we've got Nyes, Domi, and Marner, Pacioretty, Tavares, and Nylander for the first 2 lines. What do you like about that first line, Jay? And that was Nyes, Domi, and Marner.
Youth, first of all. You got veterans on here, but it's still young. Like Nyes is young, Domi's still pretty young. I know he's been around for a bit, but they're still young guys. Marner's, what is he, 27? It's the youth of this, the speed of this team. Like I'll tell you right now, Domi is one of the fastest guys in the league. People don't, but it's not that his top speed is fast. It's getting to top speed. He takes 3 strides and he's at top speed. The other night when they were playing against Detroit, he had several friggin' scoring chances coming out of the corner, just blasting off. Same thing in Boston. During the power play, he had several chances. I think he had 4 chances in one shift, and just the actual ability to get around guys, make the first move, dish it off, make the first move, shoot. The only thing he needs to practice is shooting. Like I keep telling you, he misses the net a lot, and so does Marner. That's the only other thing. Marner and him, when they're shooting from the half boards in on the like down the wings, they need to be a lot more accurate and shoot short side instead of far side, because they end up losing the puck going around the boards. But as far as having Nyes on this line, you got a guy that's willing to go get the puck. Domi's willing to go get the puck. Marner is as creative as it gets. And you said earlier, I don't really like Marner. That's not true. I think Marner's a fantastic player. I just think in the playoffs, before the playoffs, I think they need to sit him for 2 weeks, let him hit the gym, gain 5 to 7 pounds of muscle, and be a little bit more physical. Like, I know that's not going to happen, but I just, I'm not being realistic here, but he needs to, I think in an off season sometime soon, he needs to put on 10 to 15 pounds of muscle, and he needs to change his game a little bit. It just needs to be more physical, but I can't take away the skill. There's like the kid is so creative.
You know what? We're talking about Marner, and we'll keep talking about him for a minute here. The one thing I think that he needs to do is get fucking pissed off. You know what I mean? Get that snarl in his game.
And I don't think he has it.
You never see him mad, right? You never see him pissed off or mad.
Well, I mean, again, you look at what happened with. We'll go back to the Stanley Cup final last year with McDavid. I'd never once seen him pissed off before. I didn't see him, and then they show that video of him screaming and yelling. We don't know what happens behind closed doors. Last year, they all got in an argument on the bench, and Willie told them all to shut the hell up and stop being babies. Well, he could be complaining lots, but that doesn't mean you're getting angry, right? Like, or snarly at least. So yeah, I'd like to see that, but I don't think he has it in him. It's just not his style. But he definitely needs to get more physical. There's no question.
Let's talk about a couple of actually, no, we'll move on the second line because we kind of commented that we didn't talk with them. Pacioretty, Tavares, and Nylander. I like this line because it has experience with Willie. You know what I mean? Like guys that know how to get it done and have been around for a while. And then you've got Willie there. That's the hot stick. And really, I think it's working well. Tavares wins a lot of faceoffs. Pacioretty, great vision for the game, moves the puck well. Knows
he's changed his game. He's so much more physical.
He is. Yeah. He's great. What a great addition to this team. I know you love him. Go ahead, talk about him in that line. What do you like about that line?
Well, we'll start with Pacioretty. I think that his physicality, everybody knows he's always been a big player. And like I told you before, when he got rammed off the boards off the glass from Chara, he wasn't the same for about 5 years as far as the physicality was concerned. Because when he first came in the league, he was fairly physical. Wasn't just a sniper, and now he knows he's got that man weight that I've talked about in the past, and he's a big physical specimen. And when he gets a jump in his step, you need to keep your head up because he's going to run you the hell over. And he can score. And what I like about him, he's shooting from everywhere. Doesn't matter where it is. And it's on net. And with the physicality, the fact that he can shoot from anywhere, he's got a heavy shot, and he can score from anywhere. He's got a couple already that were from far out, which nobody does anymore. Everybody's always in tight shooting, except for defense, but I'm talking about forwards. And the fact that he sees the ice as well as he does. And then you have a guy with Tavares who's going to see the ice, as good as anybody. I think Tavares is very similar to Pacioretty. He goes in all the dirty spots just like him. He's not afraid to get dirty. However, he's not physical. He doesn't hit. He rides guys out and whatever, but he still ties up his man that extra second, even though he's smart that way because of the physicality he doesn't bring. He knows he needs to make these guys take up some time, get in their space, and not allow them to get into the play. He does that very well. And of course, there's what else do you need to be saying about Nylander? Nylander's just, he's top level. I think he's skill wise. He's probably in the top 3 players in the league skill wise. I think skating ability, if you put everything together, stick handling, skating ability, scoring ability, he's in the top 3 players in the league. The only thing is drive. And I hope that playing on a line with those 2 guys and not having that much experience, you're going to have some drive. It's going to be catchy. If he starts playing like they do, wow.
Watch out. Yeah, watch out. Well, we'll move on. With 26 minutes in here, we'll move on to keys to success and score predictions. I just think work on that power play, continue to crash the net as they've been doing. It's been working. Cycle that puck a little bit, but really crash the net, tip the puck, banging those rebounds. Easy hockey. Make it easy. Don't make it difficult for yourself. They're playing well. I hope that the 2-game win streak continues. Score predictions, I'm saying a close one. 3-2, but no overtime. 3-2. Leafs will be up 3-1, and then Montreal score a late one, but then they'll ride it out. What are your thoughts on the final score and what do they have to do to win?
Well, I think this is going to be a rout. They got something to prove now, and they're playing well. So I thought the Leafs were going to win the first game, and I think if I remember correctly, I said it was going to be like 4-2 or something like that. I can't remember. I think this is going to be a rout, if you want my honest opinion. That's what I'm hoping for. And from what I see, the way that they've been playing, Montreal just doesn't have what they have anymore. And the goaltending alone, I have a hard time thinking Montreal is going to score more than 2 goals on Stolarz. So that alone, and if the Leafs play like they've been playing the last couple of games, they're going to score 4 to 6 goals. So I think it's going to be probably like a 5-1 or 5-2, and maybe even a 6-2. To be honest with you, I'm kind of thinking even like around the 6, because I think they have something to prove. But I also think that the physicality that the Leafs are playing with right now, there'll be nothing left of Montreal in the third period. They're just not going to be anywhere near as physical.
All right, you heard it first from J-Dog and Jamie on Keep Your Head Up Hockey. Big thank you for watching the show. And Core 4, again, thanks so much. You guys are the best. Really appreciate your support. If you like the show, give us a like. Tell a friend. We'll see you next time. Keep your stick on the ice. Keep your head up. Take care.